If my numbering is correct, this is the 75th game episode of Time to Get Real. And this season, our 10th is it's proven to be a bit of a nail biter. We've lost one game. We've scraped out a bunch of hard draws and a bunch of close victories. But this early in the season, that's what I sort of expect. The quality of teams, it's still trying to work themselves out. You know, are you playing a good team? Are you playing a bad team? You're only 7 games in. You really don't know. So, going forward, I fully expect that to change. And it could possibly change today as we play Porto in the Champions League. My name's FM20. It's time to get real. So, we hadn't played Celta Vigo yet. No, we hadn't. We'd beaten Real Madrid to get the season off to a good start, and we kind of stumbled, and we lost against Celta Vigo. Frank Campos scored in the second minute. I thought, hey, cool, we're off to a fast start, and holy cow, Gonçalves just equalized on the ensuing kickoff, and it was kind of downhill from there. Against Betis, we drew 1-1 thanks to a Barnabashvili goal off a set piece in the 84th minute. It was much the same in the match against Leganes. We struggled to a 1-1 draw. Maria scored in the 16th minute, equalizing the Dioti score they had in the 10th, and then it just devolved into a series of fouls. Nobody could really get anything going. Against Man United, we got lucky this match, and I will be the first to admit that. We shut them out 2-0, and that is because of our defense. If you take a look, you can see plain as day, the bright green numbers. De La Labor on a 7-3, Gilbert 7-4, Barnabashvili on a 7-1, Mahmoud was on a 6-9, Alonso was on a 7-9, Vojnovic had the only sub-6-7 of the game, but he's 18 years old, and I kind of expected that, to be honest with you. We played better than average, which for us is a good thing, because Man United just played average. And a better than average real high-end team will beat or draw. Well, 7 times out of 10 they'll draw an average Man United team. 3 times out of 10 they'll win. And that's what happened here. If the situations were reversed, if Man United played like we did and we played average, we would have been beaten 6-1, something like that. So the stars just kind of aligned for this one. Even when they brought in Rashford in the 57th minute, they couldn't get anything done. As you can see from the match stats, it was a really even game. We had 16-11, they had 18-11. Possession was equal for all intents and purposes. We had more fouls than they did. That's our style. Broke up a lot of attacks. The defense really clamped down. I didn't do anything different in terms of where we played, really. They played a 4-4-2 that looked more like a 4-2-4. Their wingers came up. I pulled the midline back. I pulled our lines back just a little bit, but these are standard. They're not far back. We weren't parking the bus or anything like that. We were a little bit narrower, which let us collapse down a little bit more. They were a little bit more active in the wings, but that's the side Mahmoud was on, and he just did a really good job. He and who was my left winger this game? Was it Mathis? As I'm clicking the wrong place again. Yeah, it was Mathis. Player of the Match award for Mathis. 3 chances created, 3 key passes, 1 assist. He had a solid game. We turned around and drew with Osasuna, who aren't the best. Well, it's too early in the season to tell. We're only 7 or 8 games into La Liga. We'll take a look at that here in just a minute. Matin Vojnovic had a goal in the 60th minute, which was nice, against Granada, who they're not a good team. They're going to get relegated probably. We won 2-1 thanks to a brace of Frank Campos goals 7 minutes apart. And then against Eibar, we won 1-0 thanks to a Gilbert goal in the 81st minute. So as I mentioned, we're only 7 games into the La Liga season. So our 9-goal scorer is 7th highest, or 8-goal allowed, 10th best. We got 17 yellow cards already. I don't think that we're going to ever break my goal of fewer yellow cards than points. I cleaned my computer out yesterday. I've got one of those electronic dusters. It's kind of like a mini air compressor, and the carrier it's on did not go back to the right place, so I keep bumping into it, and I'm freaking out because it's a very nice computer, and I don't want to do anything to hurt it. So Frank and Alessandro each have 3 goals. Frank also has the highest rating and the most assists for a guy who's coming off the bench at the moment, and that could change. I will explain here shortly. He also has 2 players in the match awards. For whatever reason, Guillaume Lemaitre has jumped on the "why did you let Helio go" bandwagon. You should have done everything you could to keep him here. And part of me really wishes there was an option that said, even if I had to sell you to keep him here, you'd be okay with that. So he came to me a couple weeks ago and was just like, I'm upset because you let Helio go. And I'm like, he's been wanting, it's the same thing I talked about last episode. He'd been wanting to leave for a year. I agreed to let him go if a club made an offer for him. Last year it was $80 million. This year it was $50 million. So as you can see, he's unhappy. His training's tanking. Some of his stats are going down. And I'm not too worried about this because literally what that means is it went from an 8.2 to an 8.1. So, but he is a good young winger, 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. Although, to be honest with you, if this keeps up and he's unhappy come the January transfer window, even though the fact that he likes big matches, he's very speedy. He's a very good winger. He's consistent. At least he has been for us the past 2 seasons. 33 appearances, 5-4-1, 34 appearances, 6-4-2. If I could get the same out of him this year, I'd be really happy with that. Unfortunately, his attitude is tanked. I don't know that I'm going to get anywhere near that. And frankly, I would much rather move him on than keep playing with a player who's a headache on the squad. So, that said, today we're playing Porto and then Cadiz. If we take a look at the league standings here, we looked over here. Cadiz is down at the bottom of the table. Granada is. Leganes is bottom table, but they're not too far off mid-table. Osasuna's mid-table. So there's plenty of opportunity for teams to move up and down. It'll probably be 12 or 14 weeks before the table's really kind of sorted itself out. So, the fact that you got 4 teams on 14 points kind of bears that out. And there's already been, there's already been teams that have lost a game. There's going to be no undefeated teams this year. So even Barcelona and Madrid have lost games. Madrid's lost 3 games. They haven't drawn any, which is really kind of rare for them. So Bilbao's the top of the league. It's kind of rare you could say that, but they got a good club this year. So I'm going to, no, injuries. There's no big injuries. Our one big injury is a lone player. He dislocated his shoulder. He's out 3 or 4 months. So most of our injuries have been of the 1 to 3 day variety so far. So, and I said that out loud. So, okay, that said, I'm going to check my best 11, set the reserves. I'm going to be back with our match against Porto in just a bit. No, we're playing our 4-2-4. They're playing our 4-2-3-1. Rizzo. 6 goals and 13. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we got Seferovic in goal, Mahmoud, Sirac, Gilbert, and Dale Vabor as the defensive back 4, Vojnovic and Alonso as the midfielders, and I wanted to switch him out, but it's too late. Mathis and Lemaitre as the attacking midfielders, Maria and Smokovic up top as the strikers. So one of the things I am trying to juggle is keeping the players happy. I've got some very good players in most of my positions, but in key positions like the midfield and the defensive back 4, like I actually have a note written down here that says to start Diane today, and I completely whiffed on that. But Alonso and Diane are very, very equal. Diane's a little bit better in a couple of areas, not by much. But it's also been about a week since, it's been a game or 2 since he played. I'm trying to get this rotation set up to where all the players get about the equal amount of playing time. Smokovic on the throne from Dale Vabora to Alonso. Centers in, Maria is knocked away, Vojnovic is there. Oh, he gets by 1, gets by 2. Alonso up to Smokovic, baseline. Knocked away. Alonso again. Out to Dale Vabora. Back to Alonso. Dispossessed by Fornals. Up to Gomes. Long pass towards Rizzo. Seferovic comes up to get it. What the hell happened there? That looked like he had... What happened there? They overran the ball. None of the... That is a case where FM can't display what really happened because it doesn't have the animations for it. But you know what? I can't blame them for that. Larola on the throne for Porto to Fornals. Mathis intercepts that bad pass. Seferovic up. Well, he tried lofting it towards Alonso, but that wasn't going to work. Moldovan. Out to late. Ortega taps up to Gomes. He cuts across the field. Long pass towards Consacao. He drives between the defenders, but pushes his shot wide left. De La Boer on the throw-in. Lemaitre. Alonso. And he gives it away to Ortega. Light to Fornals. Up to Gomes, who got behind the defense. And a very nice stop by... Who's my 15? Gilbert knocks it away, but Oliveira's there. Seferovic, a very nice save. Bertosa's going to come on from a mood. Barnabashvili is going to come on for Gilbert. Campos is going to come on for Lemaitre. He's pitching a 6-4. Usually don't like triple substitutions, but needs must in this case. De La Boer runs the ball down, drives forward, cuts inside. He's got help, but he's not going to use it. Instead, he's tackled by Oliveira, loses the ball. Rizzo ends up with it. Back to Fornals. Consacao crosses it in. Gomes is there, and he just misses. Pushed it too wide right. I was going to say this has been a good match, but we've had one shot. Ortega on the throw-in to Luciano. Back to Ortega. He drives baseline. Knocked away. Luciano's there top of the box and curls it just wide right. Oh, we've had two shots now. Okay. Konov to Oliveira on the throw-in. Up to Rizzo. Long pass towards Driussi. He centers it. Rizzo's there and off the post and in. His second goal of the match. Looks like PSG is beating Man United too. I can't pull in latest scores. I need to do that. Nice cross. Rizzo sitting there just between the defenders. Moldovan sends it forward. Luciano's there. And Mathis is out. Rizzo got between the defenders, but he hits it right at Seferovic, who stops it. Juicy to Correa. Out to Luciano. Rizzo. Back to Luciano to Rizzo. All the way back to Oliveira. Konev out on the right. Crosses it in. Rizzo's there, but he heads it over the crossbar. Konev on the throw-in to Oliveira. Rizzo knocks it close to the goal, but De La Boer clears it, goes right to late. Ortega crosses it across the box, and no one's there to pick it up. Luciano tries stopping it. He does. Konev knocked away. Campos driving forward, unopposed. He's got help. Is he going to use it? No, he's going to shoot and hit it into the side of the net. Well, Gianluca Rizzo, brace of goals, and Porto beats us. Thorough domination by them. Shots-wise, and shots on target-wise. Possession was good, we couldn't get anything done. And Lemaitre's out for the next match. Well, we got Cadiz coming up. We'll be back for that match, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do going forward. Well, Smokovic pulled a groin, so he's out for a week, and then Vojnovic has a hernia, so he's out 2 to 3 weeks. So we're playing our 4-2-4 today. We got Seferovic in goal, Bertosa, Barnabashvili. How do you really rename this guy? Bertosa, Barnabashvili, Joubert, and De La Boer as the defensive back four. Alonso and Diane as the midfielders. Mathis and Campos as the attack midfielders. Fabian and Maria up top as the strikers. So Mahmoud's 4 stars now. He is developing quite nicely. He is the player I thought he was going to be when I paid all that money for him way back when. Amo to Martin for Cadiz. To Lukic. Up into space. Fontaine was way offsides. There's no way that's going to count. The The game said fractionally offsides. No, he was offsides. When I can tell a player's offsides, you know they're offsides. Campos sends it in, but Roman picks it up. Gets rid of it quickly. Fontaine heads it, though, right to Dale Vobora. Bardabishvili. All the way back to Seferovic. He holds it up. Bardabishvili back to Seferovic. Up into space for no one in a high-end uniform to get. Martin ends up with it. Fontaine takes the shot. Seferovic blocks it. Escobar is there, and his shot is blocked. Fabian's going to run up and grab that. He drives forward. Doesn't have any help. Holds it up. Back to Bertosa. Over to Diane. Up into space. Maria knocks it down. Campos runs that down. Maria to Campos. Top the box. They run into each other. Donnet takes the shot. Bounces it off a Cadiz player. Campos takes a shot. Bounces it off a Cadiz player. Alonso ends up with it. All the way back out. Oh, Fernandez stepped in front of the ball. Took it from Bertosa, who wasn't expecting that. However, he's getting back, and he looked like he fouled, but he kicked the ball away. It's a throw-in. Nice play by Bertosa. San Roman. Oh, Campos intercepts that. Was a poor kick. Campos holds up, then drives forward again. Tries getting by Martin. Can't. Tries getting by Martin again. De Vobora steps in front. Escobar has it. He drives forward. Over to Fontaine. And Seferovic got a hand on it just enough to push it wide. And we're going to go into the half. Well, Campos sends it in. And it's headed over the crossbar by Fabian. And we're going into the half with a 0-0 draw. San Roman sends it forward. Knocked down. Maria runs by the defender. He's one-on-one. Rounds the keeper and he scores. Nice. With Smilkovic out for the next couple weeks, he's going to get a couple. Well, Smilkovic's out at least a week. Probably 2 games. That was an interesting angle. Maria cuts right, rounds the keeper. No problems putting it into the back of the net there. Benito to Amo. Up towards Escobar, who misplays it. Bardabishvili ends up with it. Bertosa. Back to Bardabishvili. He sends it all the way back to Seferovic. I swear, almost all of his passes go to Seferovic. Bertosa. Back to Bardabishvili. Up to Diane. He sends it up. Maria got behind his defender. He's one-on-one with the keeper again. Tries rounding the keeper again. And I'm totally blanking on his name. Did just enough to push the ball wide. Campos sends in the corner kick. Roman. San Roman. That's the Cadiz keeper's name. Campos with the free kick into the box. And Maria scores again, but he may have been offsides. Oh, they're calling out an own goal. Oh, he stuck his foot out. Caromed off his foot and in. We're going to make a couple of changes here. We're going to bring off De La Vobora and bring on Fernandez. And we're going to bring Alonso off and bring on Cordonovas. Andone. Back to Benito. Up to Andone. Across the field, Campos steps in front of the pass intended for Martin. Maria had to hold up. Campos takes an ill-advised shot. Leskinen on the throne to Lukic. Dispossessed, but Leskinen gets it. Over to Lukic again. Back to Leskinen. Over to Lukic, who avoids the one tackle. Benito to Leskinen. Drives forward. He's got no one in front of him. Really cautious with the ball. Lukic sends it up. Malejo's there. And Seferovic, a very nice stop. Cordonovas sends it up. Amo runs that down. And, the number 7 player for Cadiz misplayed it. Cordonovas ends up with it again. Diane to Campos. Out to Fernandez on the right. He holds it up. He's not the best crosser, but he gets it in, and Mathis is there for the goal. His first of the season. Nice assist by by Fernandez. Jumped over the defender to put it in the back of the net. Fernandez on a throw-in to Diane, who's dispossessed by Endo. Diane gets back, and Escobar's there, but he heads it over the crossbar. It was close. Leskinen on the throw-in. Escobar over to Fernandez. Back to Lukic, who's dispossessed by Mathis. It's 3-on-2. Well, now it's 3-on-4. He's going to take the shot. He pushes it far post past Sanderman for the goal, his second of the game. I thought when the defender peeled off, he was going to kick it to Fabian, but I guess not. That's okay. He still scored. And a solid victory for us. 4-0, shutting out Cadiz, thanks to a brace of goals by Ely Mathis, a goal by Maria, and an Alexei Leskinen own goal. That was a solid performance. So yeah, we're going to skip a few games. We're going to skip the first PSG game. We're going to come back for Sociedad and PSG. And then probably Man United, Barcelona. And then Porto, Coruña. So group-wise, we're in third because Man United's been beat both of its games. So we're tied with Porto, but they have the tiebreaker over us because they beat us. So European football, that's the goal. They want us to fight bravely in the group stages. Or be competitive in the group stages, I should say. So hopefully we can be competitive. Not the best result against Porto. We couldn't get anything done offensively, and I don't think that they're that much better than us. I mean, it's not like the difference between us and Man United, but I could be wrong. I really didn't spend a lot of time scouting Porto, so I've actually taken a couple days off. It's been a couple days since I fired up the game. Just needed to take a break with everything else going on, some work-related stuff as well. So stepping back into it, see if I can get a couple more episodes recorded today, then editing tomorrow, and we'll get as many episodes up as we can. Good, solid win for us, though, against Cadiz. Granted, they're not the best team. I want to say they're last in the league. They're next to last in the league. They've actually won a game, though, as opposed to Granada, who hasn't. But a solid effort. Maria goal, Ely Mathis, a brace of goals. So I'm in an interesting place right now. I've got quality players. Now I'm juggling personalities, which, 4 seasons ago you told me that's where I'd be. I would have said you're nuts. So I got Ryan Harold pressing me for playing time. I got Lamatre upset that I was sold Helio. The good news is I've got capable replacements for him. And, I don't want to lose Harold. He's my primary backup at advanced midfielder on the left. So the problem is Mathis keeps having performances like that. I can't take him off the field. So we'll figure something out. If you did like what you seen or heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticism, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. I'm FM20.